Greetings and welcome to another webisode of Geek Talk. I am your host, Sabrina Lowery, the Tech Evangelist, and I am broadcasting live from ATL, Georgia, in the US of A. I couldn't be happier to be here. It is a fantastic day and all things geek happening over here while we give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. Well, welcome to episode 15, y'all. This has been 3 months of fantastic conversations, discussions, gems dropped for our entrepreneurs, and so much laughter and joy with my featured guests. I'm also excited to let you all know that I am now accepting submissions for future guests here on Geek Talk so that you can join me virtually in the virtual studio and share your story. Talk about your business, your service, your products, your upcoming events, and maybe something you'd like to celebrate, and we can celebrate right along with you. So let's jump into the conversation of the day. And before I introduce our special guest, I want to make sure that the stream is going live across all platforms. So let's all do that together. Let's just take a moment. Let's just share this broadcast out. Make sure that everyone is tuning in. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and if you have any comments or questions for our guests or me along the show, be sure to drop them in the comments. All right, so we are live and we are going to push this content out across all the platforms tonight. So let's get it started. Good evening, and welcome to another episode of Geek Talk. I'm so excited that you are here with us this evening, Orlean. And for those of you that have never entered the podcast before, I want to say welcome. And welcome to Geek Talk, where we give entrepreneurs expert knowledge. I am yours truly, and you can connect with me on all social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram, behind the scenes right now, at Sabrina Lowery is the handle, and I will check you all out there. But if you are catching the replay, you want to see the full episode, not just listen to the episode, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and of course, YouTube. So as you can see on the screen behind me, I've got a list of all of our platforms that we are live streaming and broadcasting this podcast. So I just want to thank you and give appreciation to all of you that have supported me and my friends for 15 episodes. That is something to celebrate. So let's dive into the conversation, and let me do a little bit of self-promotion. Why don't we? I am going to invite you all to learn a little bit more about Geek Talk. And you can learn about the podcast at sabrinalowery.com. Excuse me, let me get the correct tab sharing. Hold on just a moment, y'all. Let's make sure we share the correct tab over here. And here we go. Take two. We are live. That's what happens when we are live. Okay, here we go. Now we got it. We got it. We got it. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Geek Talk. And this is a podcast where we talk about entrepreneurship, personal growth, community impact, where lifestyle, legacy, and leadership collide. And of course, some laughter is included. So, as you can see on the website, you can catch the show across your favorite podcast platforms, and you can also catch all 15 episodes, download them when you're flying, traveling, and offline. You can download those podcasts and listen while you work out, while you're getting your walk on. And then be sure to share. Post a comment. That is how the algorithm will tell me that you are listening and that you are enjoying this content that we're bringing to you. And if you have a topic or a subject matter expert that needs to be featured on my broadcast, I'm going to invite you to share Geek Talk with them. All right. So that's just a little bit about Geek Talk and what we are doing, who we're doing it for. And I want you all to be sure to tune in each and every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so that you can catch a new episode of Geek Talk. All right, so I'm going to go and check behind the scenes. Are you ready? I'm looking for my guests. Give me a thumbs up. I can see you backstage. All right, sis. Sounds good. So we're going to stop this share. And I am going to introduce one of our very special guests of the hour. All right. So, everyone, just buckle in, sit comfortable, grab your beverage of choice, and let's lean into the conversation. So, tonight's featured guests are Karen Pascal and her lovely sister, Joan Williams, who will be joining us here momentarily. And while we are waiting, I would love to tell you a little bit about my very special guests. So, Joan and Karen are sisters, co-authors, certified holistic health and wellness coaches, podcast hosts, and the creators of Start Healthy magazine in digital and print format. Together, they lead a growing movement dedicated to helping people bloom again in mind, body, and spirit. They have written 2 books on self-care and emotional well-being, drawing from their own real-life experience as caregivers, as encouragers, and women of faith. Through their podcast, on their YouTube channel, and through their coaching and the Start Healthy magazine, Joan and Karen have created a safe space where they uplift honest conversations about stress, burnout, recovery, relationships, and spiritual growth. So, Karen, I would love for you to say hello to our audience. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my goodness. I just love your energy, girl.
Thank you.
Wow. It's truly amazing. First of all, good evening to all of your audience out there. And thank you for joining us today because today is going to be a very special treat.
Yes, it
You're
is.
yes, you're in the right place at the right time. And this evening we're going to touch on so many topics
Yes.
and to help you as an individual to embrace yourself, help you to understand more that you are more than what another person think about you as an individual. Because many times we allow people to tear us down. But this evening we're going to build you right back up. It doesn't matter how you're feeling at this point in time. There's greatness in you. You're worthy enough. You're special. And this evening, we're going to really help you as an individual to understand all of these aspects about your life. And Laurie, we just want to thank you so much for inviting myself and my sister here this evening, because it's a special moment for us as well, because it's time to bloom. It's time to bloom, Laurie.
Yes, it is, Karen. And I am so thankful that you took time out of your busy schedule, as we already mentioned, your sister's busy schedule, just to check in and give love to our audience this evening.
Yes.
And for those that catch the replay, trust me, you want to be connected to these phenomenal ladies. So, Karen, I've read the bio, but here's a question that I always ask my guests on Geek Talk, right? So I want you to tell us something about you that was not in the bio. Welcome to Geek Talk, Karen.
Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you so much for asking that question. You know, as a little girl growing up, I always remember one thing my grandmother said to myself and my sister. She said, wherever you go, always be transparent, always lift someone up, and always help. Whenever you leave a space, that space should be transformed. And myself and my sister, we live by that rule. And since we have migrated to the United States of America, because we came from a small country called Guyana, since we have migrated to the United States, our passion is to help people, is to help individuals to transform. Because life happen. We know life happen all the time. But the thing is that we don't have to stay where we're at. We are allowed to transform our lives. And every time something happens in our lives, it helps us to learn more about ourselves. It helps us to gain more wisdom. It helps us to be more resilient about our life. And it also helps us to know that there's greatness within our lives. So I just want to say to each and everyone who's tuning in now and on the replay, just remember one thing, that whatever is happening in your life is not to knock you down. It's a stepping stone to build you up and build you up for something greater in your life. Back to you, Laurie.
I love that. Thank you so much. And you know what? I always like that question because it kind of puts my guests on the spot, right? Because it's not always what people don't always want to see the professional side of us. They want to see the
Yes.
human side of us, right?
Yes,
And
so
so
true.
that's why I love, love, love to open up the show with that question for my guests, right? And so, what's your superpower, Karen? What would you say your superpower is?
My superpower is transformation. I like to transform. I like to transform. I like to see when that period of transformation is happening in someone's life. That's my superpower. That transformation, that grip, when a person could sit in front of you and they come to that moment. Ah,
Aha moments.
I
There
feel
it is.
so good. My sister feels so good because you realize to yourself you've done something for that person.
Yeah.
So that's the superpower.
I love that. I love that so much. So, we've got a comment from our audience, and I want everyone to be sure that you all know that you are welcome here. This is Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery and our special guest of the evening, Karen Pascal. And we are sharing entrepreneurs knowledge, and we are going to continue this conversation, and I want you to just jump in and tell us where you're tuning in from, and if you have any questions for our guests along the way, be sure to drop them in the comments so that I can bring them into the live broadcast. All right, so let's talk about before you became a caregiver. Let's go back a little bit. Talk about your journey and where you started.
Whew, that's a good one. That's a good one, Laurie. So before I became a caregiver, I was a cosmetologist. And I started off in that journey. I had a boutique and I was a cosmetologist because I always like to see people looking really beautiful on the inside and the outside. And because looking on the inside of many persons who sat in the chair to get beautified, I've realized that there is a lot of internal struggles for a lot of people. And because of the internal struggles that I saw, it led me down a path for start doing caregiving. And as I transitioned into caregiving, I realized something else is that caregiving, it's a journey for an individual. And many times the things that I have saw, and I know my sister, she can speak from that aspect as well. Many things we saw doing caregiving, it brings us to a space of reality because sickness and the person who is experiencing that sickness, it's very difficult for that individual. It's very difficult for the families as well. So because of that, it led us now to go to IAN, the school IAN, Integrative Nutrition, and where we graduated and became certified holistic health and wellness coaches. So now we shift gear because we want to really know the root cause. What's causing people really to get sick? What's that underlying root cause? And because of that, now we have learned the 12 pillars. Because many times these 12 pillars, we're not realizing that that's the foundation that we're standing on. And the 12 pillars are your finances, your creativity, your joy, your social life, your education, your health, your physical activities, your home cooking, your home environment, your relationship. All those 12 pillars make up you as an individual. And if one is broken down, the whole chain is broken down. So we start to address each one of them. When you come into us for coaching, we start to address each one of them on a scale of 1 to 10. We ask you the right kind of questions to help you as an individual to do some self-reflection. And once you start to do the self-reflection, you're going to realize, you know what? My relationship with myself is not that good. So if it's not that good, how can I enhance that relationship with myself as an individual? So once you start to look at yourself as an individual, because everybody's bio individuality, and once you start to look at yourself as an individual and address all these 12 components, you're able to understand yourself more in depth, recalibrate, and start to see transformation start happening in your life. So because of all of that, that is how come we started. And my sister and I, we enjoy coaching because we help clients to understand about their gut as well. Because after we graduated as holistic and health wellness coaches, we now dive deeper into the body aspect. And we wrote the book, Your Gut and You. So we went and did the course to understand the gut because everything starts in the gut. And then after it starts in the gut, it goes to the brain because there's a connection happening there. That, as we call it, the highway, the vagus nerve, it's connected. So now we understand more why diseases are being formed in the body and everything start to cascade because once a disease start to form in your body, stress is the number one. Stress is the number one that causes disease in our bodies. So, Laurie, because of that, it led us down a path that able to help people on a more holistic way. Back to you, Laurie.
Yes. Yes, I love that so much because
Thank you.
it's real, right? And so we have our guests chiming in, even stating those are facts, right? And
Thank
that's what
you.
we want. Yes, absolutely. Welcome to the broadcast, Maria Thorpe, all the way tuning in from Maryland. We appreciate you being here on the broadcast. And Karen, I want you to talk to our audience because something that you said, it struck a nerve in my soul, right? So you said something in your life happened that caused that change in the trajectory in your own life. And that is where you got that health and wellness bug, right? So talk to me about that. How did that happen so that in your mind you were able to flip that switch and realize, you know what? This is something that I can learn. This is something that I can teach. This is something that I can help others with.
Thank you so much for that question. That is such a great question, Laurie, because as we move through life, things happen. And whenever things happening in our lives, it happens for a reason. And I remember when I went to the doctor said to me, you know something, Karen, you have high blood pressure, right? So after he said that to me, I said to myself, wait a minute, something is happening within this structure, this vessel. So in order for me to move this vessel in a holistic way, I need to correct the things that I'm doing with this vessel. So that is what led us even more in a deeper level to go and do the IN course. Because whenever you go to your doctor, the doctor say this is happening with you. But what are you doing for yourself as an individual to correct the situation? So because of that, I said to myself, you know what? I can correct this course because the body has the potential to heal itself.
It sure does. Oh, yes. Talk about it, sis. Oh my God. Look, we're going to clip that for the podcast because we need to talk about that. The body will heal itself. You better go and drop the mic. Go ahead. Talk to the people, Karen.
Yes, the body has the potential to heal itself, but half of the time we don't give it the chance. We don't give the body the chance to heal itself. So, because of that as well, I was able now to heal myself by looking at each and every aspect and areas of my life. I look at my finances, if that is stressing me out. I look at my creativity. I look at my social life, if I got to cut back on social media. I start to look at everything, my spirituality. Am I doing my meditations or I'm skipping doing my meditation? I got to wake up a little bit more early to ground myself. So I start to look at each and every aspect of my life. And since I started to do that, I was able now to correct that course the road that I was walking on. I was able to turn that corner and able to correct my high blood pressure. It's a beautiful thing when we can reflect on our lives and see where our life is going. It may not be high blood pressure, it could be stress. And if we can only sit back and say, you know what, I don't really need to have these type of relationships in my life. It is stressing me out. I can move away these type of relationships out from my life. So when you move away those type of stress out from your life, you can able to live a quality life. When you look at another area, am I cooking the right type of foods at home? Am I using too much of salt? I cut back on your salt. You start to read your labels. You start to look at your pantry, what you can take away and what you can add in. So you become more self-aware of all the things that you're doing in your life. And once you do start to do that, believe you me, Laurie, your whole life start to change. I can't hear you, Laurie.
Thank you for that. Maria stated that your body, in fact, has the potential to heal itself. So, yes, I want everyone to continue to lean into the conversation because there's healing happening here. There's a wellness conversation happening
Yes.
here. There may even be a mindset transformation happening here for someone in our audience. And it just takes the sound of Karen's voice and my voice coming across these podcast airways
Yes.
to be the change that you need to see in your world. So, Karen, I want you to dive into that part of it because our audience is entrepreneurs. A lot of the entrepreneurs that follow this podcast are solo entrepreneurs. They are not a team of two like you and your sister Joan. So I want you to tell them some things that you may have done when you are not able to work in close proximity with your sister and you are doing it alone, and maybe give them some tips of how to collaborate when you do have a partner like you do when you have your sister in the business with you.
Great question, Laurie. One thing I have learned on my journey is that 60 seconds can recalibrate your nervous system. The pause, the sacred pause, I myself and my sister would call it a sacred pause. You know, you may be having a stressful day. Just step away from that laptop, step away from your phone, step away from your computer. Just step away. And when you step away, that's self-care right there. Because you're acknowledging that the body, something is happening at this moment. Step away for at least 60 seconds. Do a body scan. Scan the body. Am I feeling pain in my arms? Am I feeling pain in my head, my lower back, my knees? Scan the body now and then see where you're getting this pain. Because the micro breaks it helps you as an individual to understand the vessel and what is happening with the vessel. So when I am by myself, this is what I do. I pause. I put away all devices. I sit with myself. I scan myself the way how I'm feeling. And if I'm not feeling the way how I know I'm supposed to be feeling, I go into my state of meditation and I start to clear away all stuff that is cluttering my vision, because there's so many things that clutter our vision, and sometimes we don't even realize it's cluttering our vision until the body starts to signal us, you know what, your vision is being cluttered. It's time to remove certain things away from your vision. And the thing is that many times we are thinking that we are being productive, but we are disconnected. You're telling yourself, oh, yes, I'm being very productive, but you're disconnected. So there is where now you gotta zoom into your life and to see exactly which part is disconnected and start to work on that part as an individual, because that is what I normally do for myself. Because many times we are running on empty, we don't even realize we are running on empty. And you gotta find a sanctuary where you can refuel yourself as an individual. That is why it's always good before you start your day to fuel yourself up.
Yeah.
Fuel yourself. If it's meditation, it's prayers, it's yoga, what works for you, because to each his own.
Yeah.
Whatever is working for you, make sure you fuel yourself up before you start your day. Because many times we don't even know what is going to happen in that day. We just don't know what lies ahead. But when you fuel yourself up, you can face anything that come up against you. Because you know what? You got the fuel to run.
That's right, Karen. And our audience agrees. They are all in the conversation. Arlene agrees. I know for a fact that this is true. Okay. So this is something in the conversation that struck me when you were speaking, right? Because it makes me think of the challenges that sometimes that we are faced with, and then sometimes we can overcome them and sometimes we can't. So,
Mhm.
what unique challenges have you faced that you used even your own practices to overcome those challenges, Karen?
Meditation.
Yeah.
Meditation is my go-to.
Yeah.
Because when I go in that's I call it my sanctuary.
Yeah.
When I go there, it gives me all that I need.
Yeah.
All that I need, I could release in that space, and it fuels me back up because it brings my body in alignment. It brings you to that place of alignment. It brings you to that place of wholeness, and it makes you feel fulfilled when you can come to that my place of meditation. It's it's beyond. It's mystical.
I love that. So, I want everyone to focus on meditation practices. If you have never meditated before, I want you, Karen, to maybe share a few tips and maybe some strategies for our beginners that are in the broadcast today. Let's talk about how can we meditate as part of our own self-care and wellness.
All you need to do is to be in a place, in a space that is, some people like to do it with silence. I like to do it with a little background music happening in the background, and just sit there. Many times there's a lot of things racing through our head at that point in time, but just sit, just close your eyes, and just allow that present moment. Just think about a stream. Take yourself to a stream, and just picture that stream just flowing. That water is just flowing. And as that water is flowing, just allow your thoughts, the thoughts that is weighing you down, the thoughts that is making you feel not good enough about yourself. Just because you imagining that stream flowing, just allow those thoughts to flow. As they come, just allow them to flow. Just allow them to flow, because many times those thoughts that we are running on, it's old paradigm. It's old paradigm we are running on, things that happened since years and years and years ago, but we are still carrying that weight today. So many times sitting in that quiet moment, it allows you to check in now with yourself and allow that those thoughts, because those thoughts are not yours, just allow it to go. So meditation helps you now as an individual to ground yourself. You feel grounded, you feel balanced. It balances you out because you're scanning each part of your body. As you do the meditation, you're scanning each part of your body. Where am I feeling this pain? Why am I feeling this pain? Why is this weighing me down at this point in time in my life? Why is this weighing me down? You ask yourself the question, why is this weighing me down? Why am I carrying this? Is this mine to carry? Or is it somebody else cast that on me for me to carry? So you start to check in. It's a space where you can check in with yourself as an individual, with things that is happening in your life at the present moment. Laurie, back to you.
Thank you for those tips and those strategies. I am confident that our audience appreciates them so much. And thank you for sharing that wisdom. I have some questions for you. I absolutely love this so much. Okay.
Love
So
it too.
I'm going to let me get to this section because I thought this was fantastic. Since self care is a necessary part of not only leadership,
True.
not only caregiving,
Mm-hmm.
not only for
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship, I want to talk about the emotional weight that we carry as women while caregiving. So that's a
Mm-hmm.
whole mic drop right there. So we're going to clip that. And I
Mm-hmm.
want you to share with the audience because this conversation is for caregivers. This conversation is for entrepreneurs,
Yes.
for women who are in transition, for leaders, and anyone who has
Mhm.
ever felt unseen, overwhelmed, or behind. So, Karen, share some tips with us, please.
Great question, Laurie. Oh my goodness. This is such a great podcast this evening. The thing is that, especially we as women, I like to call it the invisible labor. The invisible labor. We carry so much every single day because we are nurturers. And we carry so much of weight every single day. And it's emotional, it's spiritual, and it's relational. Every day we carry this. And it's observing and feeling the emotions of other people. That type of energy, we observe that energy. And it could take us on a whole cascade of problems because you start to feel not of yourself. You start to feel this heaviness, the weight that you're carrying, and it's not your weight, it's other people's emotions. Sometimes you enter an office and there's so much of negative things happening in there, and you absorb all of that negativity and you take it home with you. And when you go home now, sometimes you find you have kids and you start to burst out because you're carrying this heavy load, this heavy weight you're taking with you. And we, as especially as women, we got to know when to release that energy because it's not yours to carry. We absorb that energy, we absorb that emotion, and we got to know when to let that go. And sometimes we are in a relationship where we are very high functioning in that relationship, and it could take a toll on us as individuals. It can take a high toll on us, and many times we are silent in our own needs. We are silencing our own needs. We're not speaking up. We're not saying how we are feeling. We are doing things because we want to do it, but not knowing that we are being affected by it. So many times we have to speak up and saying the way how we are feeling and not silence ourselves, not silencing our voice. We need to speak up. You know what? I cannot do this for you at this point in time. I cannot do this for you at this point in time. We got to speak up and stop silencing our voices as individuals. We need to do that. Right, Laurie?
I agree 100%, Karen. Let me tell you something. This is a powerful conversation because there's quite a few things going on in the world in my industry. So I'll just give you a little bit of backstory. I used to belong to a big brokerage, and then they were merger, acquisition, all of these things going on in the real estate industry. And so over the past 24 hours, there was a major merger and acquisition in the world of real estate. And it freaked some people out.
Wow.
Okay, right. So let's talk about that. Managing that stress. We just talked about, right? That emotional well being part. But when things that are beyond your control happen, right? We've got to be able to manage that stress and still perform, right? So there's maybe a few strategies that we can take for ourselves. And you said it very, very, very poignantly. It begins with a conversation. You got to get it out, right? And I don't want it to be, I'm getting it out in the form of venting. Talk
No.
to our audience about how, when things happen in the workplace, in our industries, in our environments that shake us a little, right? How can we reset and bloom again?
Great question, Laurie. I love it.
You see how I did that, right? You see how I did that, right?
Yes. That's a beautiful question, Laurie. You know, the first thing we got to do, we got to name the weight. You got to name what is weighing you down. Because the point is, if you don't name it, you can't understand it. So if you're having in your office, you're having an issue is happening in your office, name the issue. Don't go around the issue. Name what is happening and release what's not yours. There are certain things in life we cannot control. But many times we want to have our hands on everything, trying to control everything. But certain things are out of our control. We cannot control it.
Yeah.
So if you cannot control something, why are we putting so much of energy into that what we cannot control?
So I want to jump in right there because that brings me to an employer and employee relationship where the employer wants control all the time. So you end up being like rams in the bush, button heads all the time, right? So there are environments where the employer is aggressive, is an aggressor, speaks loudly, angry all the time.
Hmm.
How do we, okay, because remember, we're entrepreneurs. Some of us are solo. And when we go into collaboration and partnership with these external people, it's quick to fire somebody, right? You can let them go real easy. But
Mhm.
when you cannot release that individual from that environment, how can you protect yourself, your mind, and your heart?
Boundaries, girl.
There it is.
You got to set up those boundaries,
Yeah.
you know, because one thing that we as individuals is when you're dealing with someone else, you really never know that true person. You really never know what that person is experiencing. Because many times when people show up in front of us, that's not the person you're seeing.
It's
A
their
lot of
representative.
Exactly. A lot of times people are wearing a facade. They're showing up, but they're not showing up for their true self.
Yeah.
So many times now, we as individual, when someone is showing up in front of us, we gotta ask ourselves the question: is that the real person we are seeing, or that is the next person, the next version of that individual?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when you see people behaving the way they're behaving,
Mm-hmm.
it's a backstory, it's an internal struggle that they're dealing with. So many times you just gotta show them self-compassion. Believe you me, you gotta show them self-compassion. But at the same time, you gotta have your boundaries as well. You have to have your boundaries set up as well with that type of individual. And as I was saying before, you gotta say how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta say how you feel because many times we wait until we go behind the clothes. It's not in a confrontational way. It's how you say it. It's not what you say, but it's how you say it.
Agreed. Tone is everything. And I want everybody that's tuned into this podcast to know email is tone deaf. So, for all of you individuals out there that are insinuating tone into your email conversations, even AI allows you to change the tone. So, I want y'all to just take that little tech tip away and just carry it as you go forth and be great. Okay. So I want to shift our conversation. I think it's time for a little show and tell, shall we? So let me get the website pulled up, Karen, so that you
Thank
can
you.
share with everyone a little bit about you and your sister's business, and then the audience can connect with you. All right. So let me get that pulled up for our audience. And thank you, everyone, so much for tuning in. All right. So there we have it. Karen, the floor is yours.
Wow. You know, this is our baby because when we started, many times you're starting a business, but you really don't know which direction it's going to really go. But Once you say centered and balanced, and again, through meditations, there is a lot of things happen during meditations. You get a lot of clarity about a lot of things. And because of that, myself and my sister was able now to start a business together. And we even propel it even further now. We are having a Bloom Again, which is Tea Talk and Transformation Bloom Again journey. So when you come into a space with us, we create a sanctuary for you. And so when you come in there, it's like a retreat. You come in there, you have a safe, self judgment free space. You come in, you sit with us, we do a discovery call. And the 12 pillars that I pinpoint to you earlier, we start to go through, we call it the circle of life. We start to go through each one so we can see on a scale of 1 to 10 where you're at. And then we start to, if finances, you say the finances is not that up to speed, we said that, okay, fine. Here are some strategies we can work on now when you come into your coaching sessions. If we cannot handle it, we refer you to someone with the financial aspect that can able to guide you along that journey and help you now with your finances. Your creativity, we're going to zoom into your creativity. Maybe you're someone who are looking now to do a podcast, you don't know how to do it. You don't know how to start it. There is where Sabrina come in. We connect you with Sabrina now, and then Sabrina help you now as an individual now to move, to it take legs and to move it along for you. So we help to bridge. It's like bridging you as an individual with the right person. If we cannot, if that's not our scope of practice, we now bridge you with the right kind of person that can help whatever you're looking for to do, to take legs and to move. So it's all about transformation. We want to see the transformation happening in your life. And because we want to see that, that is why we've created Bloom Again, because we want you to bloom and to blossom and to transform. Sabrina, back to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So, I want to navigate the platform with our audience. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Not hearing you, Sabrina.
what's happening? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, let's bring this out. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now, Sabrina.
Okay, so I had to stop the screen share. Let me try to bring it back into the conversation. Can you hear me still?
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. So I wanted to help our audience navigate the platform, right? So we are screen sharing on the website heal, HEAL.me, M-E, heal.me/best self.
Yes.
Okay. When you go to that website, I want you to tell the people how they should navigate to book time with you.
So whenever an individual goes to the heal.me/best self, you can book a consultation with myself or my sister. So you come in, you book, you come in. We can have I think it's a 30 minutes consultation. We're going to check to see if we're a good fit, a good match. And then we take it from there. And once you're a good fit or a good match, we have a lot of digital products that we normally give to you as an individual to help you along on your journey of transformation so you can experience the healing that you're looking for as an individual, because it's all about wellness. It's all about holistic living and the lifestyle that you deserve, the alignment. The transformation is really unique, Sabrina.
Yes, yes, I see all of the different areas of practice that are available for those are that are going to go to the website. I want everyone to please connect with Karen and be sure to ask any questions that you might have. Now, if they wanted to contact you directly, do you have a social media platform, a phone number, or an email that you would like to share with our audience to stay connected with you?
Sure, Sabrina. If someone want to connect with us, my number is 201-814-7614. That's 201-814-7614. And my sister is 347-775-5934. 347-775-5934. And also you could connect with us on LinkedIn. Karen Pascal on LinkedIn, Joan Williams on LinkedIn, on Facebook, Karen Pascal on Facebook, or Mind and Body the Holistic Way LLC on Facebook, or Joan Williams on Facebook. I think she also have her website on not website, her page is Living the Holistic Lifestyle Body, Mind, and Soul LLC. So that's her page on Facebook. So you could connect with us also on Instagram, also on Twitter. So you connect on all those platforms. You could connect with us on YouTube as well. Soul, Light, and Body on YouTube. Soul, Light, and Body on YouTube. You can connect with us as well.
Oh, this has been an amazing, amazing conversation. I cannot believe how fast the time went
Yes,
on us,
yes,
right?
so
And
true, so
I'm
true.
always grateful for our audience that tune into the live and the backstage, right? The behind the scenes. I've got my Instagram followers behind the scenes, and I always like to direct them over to catch the full episodes on your favorite podcast platform
Yes,
within the next 24 hours. It will be available. And of course, on my YouTube channel, on my Facebook channel, and on my LinkedIn page. You can watch the full episode or listen as you like. I want to just give you your flowers, Karen. I want to say thank you so much again for being here. Our audience took away several nuggets, thanking you for the tips, telling us, yes, when things are out of your control, focus on one thing that you can do to
yes,
stay focused.
so
So
true.
those are our takeaways for today. And Karen, I want to just say thank you. I'm so sorry that Joan was unavailable to join us tonight, but we do know that she'll catch that replay and you guys can go back and comment with our audience if they have any questions or
Yes,
comments. And
yes.
I so appreciate you taking your time to be on Geek Talk.
Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure, and the one takeaway I want to give to the audience before is that to reset what's heavy, and to restore what's sacred. You've got that sacredness within you. Restore it. Just restore it. Restore it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so, so much. I do believe that I have here. Let me go to this site because that was the Heal Me. But check this out, ladies and gentlemen. There's the website. So I was showing the heal.me platform, but I did not go to your direct link. So everyone, this is Karen and Joan's website, Living the Holistic Lifestyle, Body, Mind, and
Mind and
Soul.
soul. Yes.
LLC. So again, that website is, let me put it back, heal.me/best self. And this is the website that you will find with Joan and Karen. And you can book a free 15-minute consultation and get the support and the services that you need. It says your gut and your self care is intentional. And that book is available on Amazon. So I want to thank you again, Karen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you for having us here, Sabrina. It was a pleasure. This energy was so great.
Yes, absolutely. I'm always grateful when my guests have a great time. So
Yes.
we are going to say ta-ta for now. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I apologize, Karen. I took you off stage without you saying your farewell. Please,
You
please
know,
give your
to the audience, we just want to thank you so much for taking the time and sitting with us today, and don't forget, you can bloom again. You can bloom again. Just feel free to contact us. All the information is there. Just feel free to contact us and we'll help you to bloom again. We know
yes.
you're busy, but you can bloom.
Thank you. Thank you again so much for being here. Hang tight for me backstage. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another fabulous conversation. And I hope that you picked up a nugget or two, or just a little bit of that wisdom that we know sometimes it's good to just be reminded and hear it out of someone else's mouth, right? And so I appreciate you all being here with us tonight. So I want to segue and remind everyone, let me grab, pardon me for my reach. All of my books are available at SabrinaLowery.com. And I want you to go take a visit on my shop where you can get a copy of my very first publication, The Entrepreneur's Blueprint for Digital Dominance. And check it out, y'all. A new book will be released in 2026 and it will be Dominating AI. So I want y'all to be on the lookout for that blessing coming soon. We also have social etiquette, and that is something that you can get for all ages, communicating with a conscious mindset. Okay. And that is another one of my best selling publications you can get in my shop. And last but certainly not least, everyone, you can get that Ladies in Tech 4-book bundle, volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. The newest edition is available. It is on my website. I am signing copies and bundling these for your Mother's Day baskets. Okay. I want everyone to know that if you connect with me directly on my website and you request the promo code for the book bundle, I will give you 1 volume free. So here you go. 4 for the price of 3. So go to SabrinaLowery.com and visit my shop where you can pick up your book bundle today. I greatly appreciate your support. It means the world to me. Okay. It is all about support. That is an action word. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I want to remind you to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sabrina Lowery, RE Tech is my page, so that you can get notifications of every Tuesday's live episode, broadcasting across Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And in the next 24 hours, the podcast will drop on your favorite podcast platform. As I mentioned, you got it going behind me: YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and more. Just Google Geek Talk with Sabrina Lowery and Friends. And I want you all to remember, GEEK is an acronym for Giving Entrepreneurs Expert Knowledge. I look forward to seeing you again next Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go be great and make it a great day. Take care.